Alright, I'm all over the place right now. I know I mentioned a Netflix review, but guys, I haven't had the time. I've just been busy. Now with online school, I'm graduated. Just personal stuff. One day, I'm gonna be mad consistent with uploads. I promise. But we're back to keyboard reviews. I sat here for a while thinking of a show to review, and I remember a certain cartoon that reminds me of my dream job, filmmaking. I didn't know you wanted to film. Do you watch my movie? That's why you didn't know a single thing about me, son. But anyways, today's show is Being Ian. Premiered in 2005 with, wow, 3 seasons? That's low-key a surprise. The show was made in Canada. If you recognize this bear, a year ago. The show was created by Ian James Corlett. He's responsible for quite a few things, but most importantly, Beast Wars Transformers. A show so good it's free on Tubi. Well, the show is free on Tubi too, so oops. Watch the show if you want. I promise, I'm not setting you up. Let me get back on track. Being Ian was something I watched in 2015 and I absolutely loved it. Rewatching it, I gained a lot of respect from the show. The show is about a kid named Ian who has a passion for filmmaking. Most episodes consist of Ian spacing out to picture movies in his head, and we get a lot of real-life movies and TV references. Some are really good.
Our Saturday TV watching has been ruined.
No Yvonne of the Yukon, no Sponge Ralph Round Pants, and no Being Liam.
But sometimes they overdo it to where it feels like it drags a little bit and it just doesn't work. Joining Ian are his 2 best friends, Tyrone and Sandy. Both good characters. Both characters are legitimately real fun to be around. I like how they nonchalantly tag along to whatever Ian gets into. He has 2 brothers named Kyle and Corey. They both like messing with Ian because he's the youngest, but they're both extremely hilarious. They both get into their own shenanigans. The episode Home Alone is the perfect example, but we'll get into that later. Just know both characters have their time to shine, and it's so perfect down to the T. Then you have other characters like Grandma Kelly, Grandma Minsky, Oddball, Dennis, and Grace. Grandma Kelly is just an amazing character. She's just extremely funny. Her accent just kills me, and it just reminds me of a dumb video I started laughing at for the past couple of days.
Who the fuck are you? How did you get loose? Are you gonna phone the police on you, you pure mutant?
Can you stop judging my sense of humor? Grandma Kelly and Minsky work well together. They both have extremely funny lines, and it's a treat to see them on screen. Oddball's voice kinda annoyed me, but I slowly warmed up to him. He actually made me laugh on some occasions, not all the time, because his voice could still get annoying. There's some other characters that Ian go to school with, but the 2 who really stood out was Grace and Dennis. There's also that one kid who plays chess, but Grace was always the one to help Ian out with any problems. Most of the time it didn't work, leading to some funny slapstick, but she's very likable, and a great help to Ian. Now Dennis, the best character in the show, hands down, come on. He doesn't say a single word. I mean, he speaks gibberish, so my bad. I'm gonna jump the gun a bit and mention the episode School Unfair, where he legit shines in every scene he's in.
No, Dennis, I don't know any words that rhyme with comet. I did not do it on purpose.
Well, I had no other way of transitioning to the next part of the review, so... I absolutely love the episodes of the show. They're written so well. It surprised me how funny the show could really be. I mentioned this before, but sometimes they'll reference a real movie or a show. They're sometimes really creative. Ian himself has a creative mind. And bruh, look at his camera. Let me cop this real quick. Oh. Yeah, nah. You don't understand how refreshing it is to review a show that's seriously about a kid who wants to become a director. No predictable mysteries, and no moral at the end of every episode. The Home Alone episode really sticks out to me, mainly because of its ability to take multiple plot lines and mash them into one without making it feel rushed or dragged. The episode begins with Ian's parents going on a honeymoon, I believe, and the boys get the house to themselves. Ian tricks Kyle and Corey so they can leave, so Ian can vibe and watch that Little Pony show. And Ian as a baby is low-key kind of terrifying. Stop it, bro. Just stop it. While Ian is vibing on the couch, his grandma Kelly pops out of nowhere and watches Ian. And I'm guessing he called his other grandma over, Grandma Minsky, and both grandmas chill on the couch. Meanwhile, Kyle has a party at his dad's piano shop, and Oddball crashes the party and makes Kyle jealous. Kyle kicks everybody out, and they start partying in the streets. Corey goes to see his favorite monster truck and just straight up steals the truck. Ian's parents, Vicky and Ken, are harassed by a moose, and they stay on top of a tree for hours until they eventually leave. Everyone later meets up at the house. Ian is paranoid on zombies and he blocks the doors until he finds out that nothing was happening and gets exposed for liking that pony show. I forgot to mention the plot line where Ian is talking to imaginary ponies, but it was a bit annoying, so I didn't even bother with bringing it up. But this episode handles multiple plot lines perfectly, and I gotta say, this episode was really funny. The only problem was the ponies. Besides that, I really dig this episode. One thing I noticed is that some of these episodes have no payoff. Like for example, the school and fair episode, everyone accuses Ian for flooding the fields to prevent the fair from taking place, and at the end it turns out to be Dennis, and he doesn't face any consequences. And there's also a side plot of Ian having motion sickness, and Grace tries to help him just for nothing to work, and he throws up at the end of the episode. I still like this episode, but mainly because of Dylan. He saves this episode really, but I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode not having a payoff. There were some bad episodes sprinkled here and there. I think the one that stuck out to me the most was Every Kid 13. It's because Sandy is explaining her problems to Ian and he completely spaces out. And not gonna lie, I find it funny how airplanes just fly around Ian's head when he's not listening. First things first, Sandy sounds like the best person to vent to, just saying. And this scene... But this episode shows how selfish this dude can be. And it's not even to where he's so mean that he's likable. He's just unlikable in this episode. There was a part where Sandy wanted to slapbox Ian, and low-key, that would have been interesting. Even though people like this IMDb user didn't like the show, I personally really digged it. I enjoyed how the episodes were written, the comedy was on point, and all characters had something that made them unique and fun to listen to. I think the reason the show resonated with me is because I love filming and watching movies, and it only grew stronger as the years went on. Yes, even my middle school years. I was the kid with no hair. Being an Ian was an enjoyable show from beginning to end. Not all episodes hit, but the ones that slapped was a blast to watch. I could definitely say this is in my top 5. Check out this underrated animated show. Now I'm still reviewing this Netflix show, and no, it's not Cuties. Just wait, I'll reveal it soon. Since Halloween is coming up, yes I know it's September, I'm probably not going to upload for a while. Why not review the live action Scooby-Doo movie? How does that sound? Trash? Alright.